Well, the AP's preseason All-American team is out, and we're going to talk about that. These four guys, they have been very good players for the Dogs for some time now. But I want to talk real first. Hey, Jordan Huffman, congratulations on graduation from Destination Dogs. I think it's awesome. I'm actually going to put in a link below for everybody to, if they don't know what Destination Dogs is, you can find out more about it. But I'm saying congratulations to my friend Jordan. And hey, man, welcome to the real world. We'll see you out there. I think it's awesome that you got that done. This is, when you think about preseason All American teams, um, it's not postseason, right? So we're not there yet. We haven't finished the year, but the four guys, just real quick, who have not who have were named today, and there were a slew of players, obviously the whole thing. But first team guys were Keeley, Jalen Carter, and Brock Bowers. Second team Nolan Smith. Look, Nolan is in position to have a really big year, and everybody knows what you're getting with Jalen. Everybody knows about Brock Bowers, his freshman of the year, essentially. And Keeley, I think everybody knows because of the plays. This place very specifically was such a big deal. But Nolan really is important here. Um, he he is, I mean, more than these other guys, I would say. He has been there longer. He's, in the case of all these, he's the only Georgian on of these four. He is the heartbeat of this team, and I think of this quartet, he has the most to prove. Um, I want to see what full blast Nolan Smith is like, because I think that we've not seen that yet, and you'll know it when you see it. Okay, he's had a lot of competition out there on the field with him. There's been a lot going on, but I mean, Nolan is the one guy to me that, although he is very much appreciated, although Nolan is, I mean, I'm telling you right now, I cannot stress to you enough how important he is to this team. We saw three of these four guys play high school football live. We saw Nolan play in 18, I think it was. He was always very eager to be accommodating, and he has grown into the emotional leader of the defensive side of the ball. Jaylen Carter, look, probably the best defender that Georgia had last year, and I think he's probably the best defender coming into this season. This is about if he can fulfill. Um, Fulfill is a strong word. This is about if um, Jalen can be the number one overall draft pick. I think it's really, even if he's the best player in college football, that's really going to be hard to pull off simply because of quarterbacks this year. I mean, you have two really good quarterbacks, one at Ohio State and one at Alabama. And, it's going to be hard to be the number one draft pick. But I mean, Jalen Carter, from the moment you saw him run on a high school football field, his first the first time you saw him punt, um, he makes a lot of plays, not just in high school, and he's just a physical beast. Jalen Carter is the type of player that you need if you want to separate yourself from the rest of college football. Florida, there was just no real interest between him and Florida. Obviously, the Noles were nowhere to be found, but he's the type of guy that is a premier player in college football. That he's at Georgia shows how well Kirby and them can recruit. Make sure you're picking up DAWGSTRUCTION today. I'm not sure. I mean, there happens to be a picture here of one of these four guys, but these younger guys, they made a lot of plays. And I'm going to show this one image of Brock Bowers real quick. So Brock was on the cover of our 2022 preview. Obviously, that's sold out at this point. But this image of Brock, that was not, that should not have been a touchdown. But the guy scored so many different touchdowns for the Dogs. I mean, that UAB game, the Alabama game, Georgia Tech game, the Alabama game. I don't have it in DAWGSTRUCTION. I guess I should. I mean, there's only so many pages that I can put images on. But, um, you know, Keely, excuse me, when you think about Keely, you think about this. Obviously, I think this image from Chris Collins is at this stage iconic. But just after this drive with A.D. Mitchell was the throw from Stetson on, I don't know if it was third down or second down or what, to Brock Bowers. And I think it was Marcus Rosemary-Jack-Saint who was out there blocking. And it was 2-on-2. I've still not watched the whole game. I know that sounds insane to y'all. But that play there set up that Alabama would have to go and tie the game with a 2-point conversion. And Brock Bowers is not going to be stopped by one person. You could make the case. You can make the case I would not vote for this. You can make the case that he was the best player in college football last year. The reason I wouldn't go for that is A, he's not a quarterback. B, I'm not sure he was the best player on Georgia's team last year. So I wouldn't make the case he's the best player in college football. We have to be intellectually honest about these things. But I think, you know, Brock Bowers I remember being on the sideline of a high school game, and someone was talking about what they had seen at Georgia's practice, and Darnell was out. And, the person just was, they recognized me from videos and so forth. And the person just said, hey, yeah, Darnell's out, but Brock Bowers is really good. Like, just nobody's talking about it. Just boom, right off the bat, Clemson game. I mean, it was just like, they knew what they wanted to do. They thought they were good at tight end, and boom, 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 boom. Now people are saying the same stuff about Oscar Delp. So just in case you're wondering, not just one person saying that, many people. Other thing, last guy, this guy, Keely Ringo. I think of this group, him and Nolan are the two that are going to have the hardest time getting to achieve this accomplishment. Jaylen, I think, to me, will be first team AP All-American. He just will be. The other three probably will be AP guys, but I'm not sure if they'll be first string guys or not or what. But look, Keely Ringo's life changed when that play happened. There's a reason we devoted, I think, it was probably 8 pages to that play. Let's see, that's 4. Okay, maybe it's only 4 different pages, but 3 different images. Um, and the what's the word? The joy of that moment was indescribably emotional for Georgia fans. It just was. I mean, it's an emotional fan base to begin with, but it's usually a negative fan base. That was pure chaos. You could, hear it, smell it, feel it. There were people crying when this happened. And I understand that. I understand the raw emotion that Keely Ringo set off with that return was something people thought they would never see. I was not one of those people. I thought it should happen, as you recall. But Keely's life, Keely will be able for the rest of his life, unless something horrible happens, he will be able to sign autographs. He will be able to he is the modern day Lindsey Scott. I mean, it wasn't quite like that. It wasn't that far from it, though. I mean, it wasn't that Georgia's back was against the wall and you had a Larry, Munson moment, but it was a you never know how the ending will be told in a story, and to see him streak down the sideline like that was an impressive athletic feat, sure, but it meant so much to so many people. I talked to him at G Day about it, and I don't. I think he said he didn't go to sleep that night. I'm going to talk to him one of these days more when all this is all settled down. But he was another guy that we got to go see early, and you couldn't throw on that guy in high school. It just wasn't going to happen. But Matt DeBerry said to me after watching him play, said, "Yeah, he's a good DB, but man, he was a pretty good just player in terms of with the ball in his hands. That was the part that you didn't want any part of with him either. Was that Darnell Washington that day? By the way, was just like basically throwing people off of him. Keeley was." Was a very good overall all around player, and I think that for these four guys to get back to an AP All American team, Georgia's going to have a good year. They'll have to stay injury free, and you know I think they can all do it. All four of them on first team. I don't know. We'll see, but Keeley needs to concentrate on this season, but he certainly did change his life with that moment and the life of a lot of people. I do want to show one thing here more. I would this so this is Jeff Foxworthy, okay, which is fine, whatever. But the jubilation. This is one example of the jubilation of fans at that game. People were so undescribably happy about what had happened. And that was brought to you by Keely Ringo.